entries in beloved franchises to intriguing reboots and years in the making dream projects, some truly must-see releases are starting to fill up the calendar. These are just some of the biggest films arriving in 2021 and beyond. It's been more than 20 years since a new Mortal Kombat film hit the big screen, but one of the most popular video game franchises of all time is finally making its way back to theaters.
Yeah, now that's what I'm talking about.
Producer James Wan, who launched franchises with Saw and The Conjuring, has handed the director's chair over to first-timer Simon McCoy for this flick, but you can bet his blockbuster pedigree will be felt throughout the production process. At this point, we have no idea what the plot of the new film will be. The Mortal Kombat video game franchise has expanded significantly since Mortal Kombat Annihilation hit theaters in 1997, giving the filmmakers an even bigger mythos to draw from as they craft their story. We also don't know which fighters will be characters in the film or which actors will play them, but we can hope to learn more soon since the film is expected to start shooting in 2019. The new Mortal Kombat film is set to hit theaters March 5th, 2021. It's been more than 30 years since He-Man and the Masters of the Universe appeared in their own live-action feature film. It's going to take a couple more years to finally get the characters back on the big screen, but it wasn't for lack of trying. A new live-action film starring He-Man and his pals has been in the works for more than a decade, and at one point it was even supposed to be hitting theaters in 2019.
I've waited a long time for this.
That didn't happen, but now Sony Pictures has finally announced a March 5th, 2021 release date for Masters of the Universe, which will be directed by band of robbers Adam and Aaron Nee. Noah Centineo, who rose to fame via Netflix's To All the Boys I've Loved Before, has signed on to play He-Man. And while we have no idea who will play his various allies and adversaries yet, we can expect old favorites from the animated series to show up along the way. Let's just hope they don't show up like, this.
By the power of Grayskull! Skeletor! You're so muddy, supermarket.
The Jurassic Park franchise returned to blockbuster status in a big way in 2015 with Jurassic World, and producer Steven Spielberg wasn't about to let it stop there. Colin Trevorrow, who directed and co-wrote the first installment, always had the shape of a trilogy in his mind, and that mission continued with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom in 2018. In keeping with the established rhythm of one film every 3 years, the third installment in the World trilogy is now set to arrive on June 11th, 2021. Trevorrow will return to the director's chair for the third installment and will co-write the film with Pacific Rim Uprising screenwriter Emily Carmichael. Stars Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard are also expected to return for the film, which will feature dinosaurs roaming free on the mainland United States, making it a truly Jurassic World. Beyond that, we don't yet know anything about the plot. John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum is the most successful entry in the franchise, surpassing the entire box office runs of the two previous installments early in its theatrical run. The Wick films still clearly have a lot of juice in them. Audiences are still coming back for more, and Keanu Reeves seems committed to continuing his reign of action dominance. So it's no surprise that the third film perfectly sets up a fourth installment.
How can you escape from the light? Of course, you can go to the dark. But they're in the dark, too.
It's also no surprise that it's already been announced. John Wick Chapter 4 is set to hit theaters May 21st, 2021, with Reeves back once again as the titular hitman, this time going to war against people he once thought he could trust. We don't know who else will be back for the fourth film or who will write and direct, though director Chad Stahelski has already expressed interest in returning. What we do know is that Wick won't get any less dangerous over the next 2 years. The Batman has had a long road to the big screen already, and will still be waiting 2 more years until it's actually in theaters. At one point, the film, the first solo Batman flick since The Dark Knight Rises in 2012, was supposed to be delivered by star, director, and co-writer Ben Affleck, who'd also signed on to play the Caped Crusader for Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. But after Justice League was released in 2017, things began to change. First, Affleck seemed to be backing away from work behind the camera, ultimately giving up the directing role to Matt Reeves. Then he seemed to be backing away as star, and finally revealed that he was done playing Batman altogether. Ever since then, Reeves has been working to refocus the story on a younger version of the character. Now, the Batman will reportedly be led by none other than Robert Pattinson, with Reeves also reportedly eyeing the Penguin and Catwoman as his villains for the film. Other than that, we still know very little about where the Batman is headed, but we'll find out more soon. The film is slated to hit theaters June 25th, 2021.
Ham 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 ham. Lezzeti dillere destan hamburger sadece 5
For a long time, the idea that we would only ever have 3 Indiana Jones films seemed both comfortable and obvious. Steven Spielberg, George Lucas, and Harrison Ford spent a good chunk of the 1980s crafting their trilogy, and then it seemed to be put to bed. In 2008, after years of whispers, that all changed with the arrival of the divisive Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. And in an age when franchises and nostalgia are often king at the box office, it was only a matter of time before a 5th film materialized. Indiana Jones 5 was at one point going to arrive in 2019. Then that release date was pushed to 2020, and then the Walt Disney Company announced that the film would again be delayed, this time to a hopefully final release date of July 9th, 2021. Harrison Ford will return to reprise the title role, and Steven Spielberg will once again serve as director, with Jonathan Kasdan writing the script. 25 years after the original film starring Michael Jordan hit theaters, and after years of rumors about its production, we will finally see a new Space Jam movie in 2021. The original film was a defining moment for many kids, bringing together the biggest Looney Tunes stars and the biggest basketball stars. And now LeBron James is going to do his best to walk in Jordan's footsteps with a sequel.
Michael, you know that your friends are cartoon characters?
Yeah, so?
That's my view, that's my view.
James confirmed back in June that he's begun shooting the film, which doesn't yet have an officially announced plot, but will likely feature plenty of star power in the form of basketball icons and cameo appearances. Warner Brothers has not confirmed the film's full cast, but NBA reporter Shams Shanaria reported that the NBA stars recruited for the film include Anthony Davis, Damian Lillard, and Klay Thompson. Meanwhile, WNBA stars Diana Taurasi and Nika Ogwumike are also expected to play key roles. Space Jam 2 slams into theaters July 16, 2021. For a period of several months in late July 2018 and early 19, James Gunn was looking for new projects after he was fired by Marvel Studios, cutting him off from the upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Those fences have since been mended, and Gunn is back at Marvel, but in the interim, he snagged another comic book project over at Warner Brothers, The Suicide Squad. A new take on the anti-hero film first introduced by director David Ayer in 2016, Gunn's follow-up will focus on a new team lineup and aim for a different tone than the original film, which means we'll get a mix of new cast members and returning stars. Among those confirmed so far to be returning are Jai Courtney as Boomerang and Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, while it also seems likely that we'll see more of Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn and Joel Kinnaman as Rick Flag. Newcomers include Idris Elba in a still undisclosed role, David Dismalchin as Polka Dot Man, and Daniela Melchior as Ratcatcher. Also reportedly attached to the project are Gunn's Guardians pals Benicio del Toro will be playing an undisclosed character, and Michael Rooker will play King Shark. The Suicide Squad will hit theaters August 6, 2021, nearly 5 years to the day after the first film. Back in April 2019, a few months after the release of Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald, we learned that the 3rd installment in the Harry Potter prequel series will be arriving in theaters in the fall of 2021, keeping up the Thanksgiving-adjacent release schedule already established by the series. The Fantastic Beasts series, set decades before the Potter films and starring Eddie Redmayne as wizard and magizoologist Newt Scamander, is now setting up to chronicle the ultimate wizarding duel between Albus Dumbledore and Gellert Grindelwald that was referenced in the Potter films, along with the true nature of the character of Credence, who got some huge news about his ancestry in the last film. The series is set to last a total of 5 films, with each one taking place primarily in a different city. We don't know what city writer J.K. Rowling will take her characters to this time around, or what the subtitle of the film will be, but we can expect return performances from Redmayne, Jude Law, Johnny Depp, and Ezra Miller, along with the potential for new stars. Fantastic Beasts 3 will hit theaters November 12, 2021. Nearly a decade ago, James Cameron released Avatar, a dazzling sci-fi spectacle that captivated audiences around the world and ultimately became the highest-grossing film of all time until Avengers Endgame took the mantle in July 2019. Even while promoting Avatar, Cameron was already talking about his plans for sequels and what was at the time a vision for a trilogy of films set on the planet Pandora. Way back then, Avatar 2 and Avatar 3 were supposed to arrive in 2014 and 2015, but that didn't happen. Then 3 sequels were happening instead of 2, with Avatar 2 arriving in 2016, then 2018, then 2020. Now, with the purchase of Fox by the Walt Disney Company, the release date has been moved once again to a hopefully final slot on the calendar, December 17, 2021, with the following 3 sequels arriving in 2023, 2025, and 2027. Hopefully Cameron and company can meet the deadlines they need this time, and we'll all go back to Pandora. Back in 2009, just as the Marvel Cinematic Universe was heating up, Robert Downey Jr. launched another franchise with Sherlock Holmes. The film, directed by Guy Ritchie and co-starring Jude Law as Holmes' sidekick, Dr. Watson, grossed more than $500 million worldwide and spawned a sequel, Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows, in 2011.
Are you sure you want to play this game? I'm afraid you'd lose.
After that, the Holmes franchise began to cool down as other successful versions of the character carried on their mysteries on television through Sherlock and Elementary. Law and Downey stayed busy with plenty of acting work, and Ritchie went on to make King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, and Aladdin. Now, 10 years after A Game of Shadows, Holmes and Watson will ride again. Sherlock Holmes 3 is set to hit theaters on December 22nd, 2021, a year later than the original release date of Christmas Day 2020. Downey and Law are both set to return as Holmes and Watson, and Narcos' Chris Brancato is set to write the screenplay. Though Ritchie is rumored to return as director yet again, he has not yet officially signed on. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.
Bandet är reparerat.
Yazın fokur fokur, ortamlar fıkır fıkır, tarzım şıkır şıkır, şortum benim, şortum benim.
Eski moda sözlere hiç gerek yok. Böyle püfür püfür, rahat olacağız. Hiç sıkıntı yok. Ben de.
Nobody pull a hamstring. Warm your butt cheeks up. Warm up your butt cheeks.
Cut there.
Copy that.
There you go. Here, come. I broke it.
No, Brad, you had it.
All right, here we go.
The thing about time travel,
I can't believe I made a whole movie with this thing.
Yeah, doesn't it look cool or... It doesn't feel cool, but if it looks cool, that's what matters.
do you have any idea what's coursing through my veins right now?
Funyuns?
Yes.
Orange soda?
We are getting the whole team, aren't we?
A duck!
Good one.
See what I have to deal with here? 10 years of this.
All clear, which way?
Oh, you say something?
I said I want to claw my eyes out. But unfortunately, it wouldn't do anything, because I already saw the awfulness. Are you focused?
I'm focused.
This pretty place is about to get uglified real quick by a bunch of freaking elves.
Do you know that I saw all these people die? So this is a little bit difficult for me. Okay, so why don't you reach down deep inside and try and find a small ounce of humanity?
Just give me the thing.
Just give me the thing. Just give me the thing. I didn't want to come here.
I gotta get it together. You're embarrassing. All right, which way? You don't know? You used to frickin' live here.
For 1,500 years, not forever. That way, I think. Yeah, maybe.
We are dead. We are so dead.
Being able to do this new version of Thor, it's hugely liberating and fun. We had a big sort of fat suit, which I think was sort of 60 or 70 pounds. I sort of moved.
That's the shimmy.
It was the hottest I've ever been.
Oh, I mean, amazing.
Looks like it's in the box.
And we had obviously the beard, the hair, and have these things that go in the mouth to kind of plump out my cheeks a bit, which sort of had a little effect on the voice as well, but probably in a good way. It was a different Thor.
Hi, my name's Thor. 22 years old. Live on Asgard and I like sugar.
Yurt içi, yurt dışı, Kıbrıs, kruz ve kültür turlarında ödemeni çipinle yap, anında %10 geri kazan. Turistika ve çipin fırsatlarıyla herkes tatil yapacak.
Sabaha kadar bununla oynayacaktık. Ama artık sabaha kadar.
We're shooting a superhero film, and here's one of the most recognizable superheroes, but he's just turned into a new character. What Chris does with that character and how it just kind of has this shift. His excitement was really palpable.
He'd been playing the character for a while and really wanted to find something new. He has such dexterity as a talent. He's incredibly funny. He has just really lovely energy.
Is he asleep? No. I'm pretty sure he's dead.
I actually think that in some weird, and it is a very emotional thing, but some weird, twisted up, fateful way, this character who, you know, has searched her whole life for a purpose actually finds her purpose. And it's like this amazing, super emotional, beautiful thing.
Oh, I don't judge people on their worst mistakes.
Maybe you should.
You didn't.
I feel very fortunate. It's been an incredible gift as an actor to be able to come back to a character that's as complex as Natasha. I think there's kind of a lot to explore there, and that is so exciting.
Give me that. You have the little one.
they firing at?
Something just entered the upper atmosphere.
Dampers, we need an assist here.
Hi, I'm Peter Parker. Hey, Peter Parker. You got something for me? I don't know how you're gonna get us through all that. Don't worry. She's got help.
I knew it.
I've never seen a man come. It's so...
Seni gücendirdimse özür dilerim.
Bir sinerji. Bir aşk.
Be rabbit in the
can't wake up my mom. Wake up. Wake up. Are you awake?
Yes. Why? Why am I awake?
You told me to. Early, you said.
When did I say that?
Last night. Before you started drinking.
Up and at 'em, lads. I didn't mean to snap at you.
That's okay.
Did you need me for anything?
I'm watching cartoons.
So what else did I do last night? Did I drunk dial an old boyfriend or get into a Twitter war?
You talked about Shannon Bell, the missing girl.
Thanks for coming by.
That's okay. I was on my way to work. What's up?
I saw some strange stuff last night, and I think it might be related to your case.
Shannon Bell?
Did you find her?
Not yet. It's been 3 days.
Well, the woman I saw was dead, and someone had, he'd taken out her eyes. But the little boy was still alive, her little boy.
Shannon doesn't have any kids.
Well, I guess I don't know the details.
She was on her way to work Tuesday morning. Vanished. This Shannon.
That's not the woman that I saw. I'm sorry, I just totally wasted your time.
No, that's okay. Don't worry about it. It's all good. All right, listen, why don't you come to dinner? It's been ages since we've seen you.
It's been like 8 days. I will come by this week. I promise.
Ready to fire. All right, listen. I gotta get to work.
I'm glad it was wrong. About Shannon. Hope she's okay.
We've had it. Everybody out.
Morning, Maria.
Morning.
Jane. Morning.
Crime lab report is in. No foreign DNA or fingerprints at Shannon Bell's place.
Still no sign of her on the Capitol Hill station cameras?
Nothing. Been over them 3 times.
Let's canvass the route again. Maybe there's a security camera we missed.
All right.
What's going on over there?
Strom's talking to the new guy.
Bir sinerji. Bir
Dites à ce monsieur que c'est trop tard. Tout va bien.
Thank you. Reserve the train booked through to Paris.
I wish you every happiness, Dizzy.
Marrying in Paris is a backdoor way out of it. What did they say at the office?
Sylvia's mother was married in Paris. I let it be known.
Thank you for that.
Let's go.
But she's bitched me, old man. I don't even know if the child is mine.
Teacher at 6:30. Yes, madam.
Sylvia, God damn you! I won't be.
Won't your wife be wondering where you are?
I won't be sent away like an errand boy.
This is not fair. You are coming.
Sylvia, don't do this.
What? Save myself from ruin. I'm pregnant, you fool.
Whatever you want, it can't be that ox.
What I want is to die. Death is what I... Don't. Darling, don't. It's not fair. Don't. I cut away early from the ask again about it. Are you going up to town?
Yes. My name is Tijans.
I'm Sylvia. Satisfied.
Yeah! Yeah, lemons! Yeah! Yeah, lemons!
We will take a small house in Knightsbridge, Lounge Street. Her mother will live with us. Mrs. Satterthwaite has contributed handsomely.
I haven't seen that pretty box before. Gerald Drake gave it to me.
No shame on your wedding day.
When did he give it to you? Last night.
You're a lying devil to say such a thing. Didn't I see her with it on the Channel Ferry?
So you're going to give me away twice in one morning?
Did Father send word?
He said,
And my mother?
mother soft, brought you up soft. Not your fault. Second wife makes
Yeah!
child no
Yeah,
use.
lemons!
Bad combination.
Yeah!
My
Yeah,
mother is
lemons!
Yorkshire.
Go south riding by a whistle.
Will you give me a cigarette?
No, I will not give you a cigarette, and I'm glad your father's dead not to know today's work. I'm sorry for your mother.
Oh, deadbeat Christopher Tijans is a godsend.
A godsend is one thing that he is not.
So, you get yourself trapped by a papist bitch carrying a baby. Yes, I won't marry now. You're next after me and after you. St. Paul's child will be the 14th Tijans Road. One heard things about you, that you were a wrong better a wrong than a monk.
Yes. Suppose I was a monk. Yeah, there's something glorious about it.
What's the matter, old fella?
We had a nasty deal, didn't we? Now lie down.
Hello. I know what to do. Glass of warm milk, Margie. It's the best thing for bad dreams. Now, a little conversation until we're sleepy. That's what I do. I had bad dreams sometimes when I was little.
Telegram, sir.
Thank you, Bridget.
While you're there, please, Bridget, teapot. Yes, ma'am.
Ben bu Windows'un ta anasını avradını diyeyim ya. Soktuğumun yazılımı her defasında ya mikrofon problemi ya şey, şuna bak gene sürücü aktiflikten çıkarmış. Şu Amerikan piçlerinin var ya, ellerinde maymun ediyorlar bizi ya. Şerefsizin evlatları. Bir tane bir Windows'u zamanında bedava tüm dünyaya dağıttılar. Şimdi dünyanın anasını belliyorlar. Lan armudun sapı, üzümün çöpü, sıkıntılarla Windows uğraştırmaktan başka bir işe yaradığı yok ya. konsantrasyonsuz bir güne başlayamayacak mıyız ya? Benim mouse'da sıkıntı var ya. Benim mouse sıkıntılı. Mouse kırma zamanı geldi klavyesiyle beraber. Yani az kaldı yani. Az. Sen de şimdi halt etmeye gidiyorsun ki oraya? Ben onu anlamıyorum ya. Gidin ölün. Ölmezseniz de ben devam ederim.
Maisie Mulgrew wishes it to be known that she is enjoying sexual connection with Captain W.M. O'Donnell.
What?
No, China.
You pulling the strings of the shower bath?
The Honourable Mrs. Frederick Mulgrew, whose husband we hear is spoken of for the Vienna Embassy, enjoys the polo with Captain W.M. O'Donnell. That's Maisie getting even with Frederick Mulgrew for his fling with Lady Egret.
You have no reason to say so. Thank you, Bridget. Darjeeling. And Mr. Tegens needs more coffee, I expect.
Oh, I don't think Maisie's got the gumption to go through with it. But the readers like a whiff of sex coming off our crowd. Like a vapour. Like the steam on the water at the crocodile house at the zoo. I'm bored.
Only you could be bored with the end of the world upon us.
Who says?
I says. The Prime Minister has asked the King to create 400 liberal peers so the working classes can have free medicines. Oh. I see the Association of Domestic Servants is against the insurance bill. Why would that be, I wonder?
Now's your chance to ask.
We'll go on then.
Bridget?
Sure, I don't know, sir.
No, I'm sure I do. It is because the National Insurance Bill violates that beautiful intimacy that exists between the servant and their mistress. Association of Domestic Services is Tory through and through. It is the duty of the employers to look after the welfare of their employees, and those that don't go to prison.
Who thinks that?
And the last, except for a few dukes, like your cousin, Winstonshire.
No wonder I can't bear him.
No. You're married above your intellect and don't take kindly to disadvantage.
However, the new Liberal peers won't be necessary. The upper house will cave in and vote to make itself irrelevant.
And is that the end of the world?
No. The world ended long ago in the 18th century.
Do you know what he's doing? He's making corrections in the Encyclopedia Britannica. If I'd killed him, no jury would convict.
Look, it's in with purple rolls.
Been giving the mare less licorice in her mash. Told you she'd go better.
Trust you to remember, sir. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Did you receive my telegram?
Very good morning to you too, McMaster. So you looked over my figures.
Yes, and the chief will have my head.
You asked for my help.
We've had it. Everybody out. And you've weighted the calculations as though people will...
As though people became ill according to what they have to pay for medical treatment, they do. It will ruin the exchequer, and I intend Sir Reginald to know it.
Suppose you could bolt with a new man every week and no questions asked. Ripping. Can I have this?
No. But the question is,
how long would it stay ripping before you're simply yawning to get back to your husband?
how long?
It's not a riddle, Sylvia. I'm asking.
Well, it would have to be weekends only. One would still need a home, a husband for show midweek, and a place to store one's maid. I couldn't do without Hello Central.
Mrs. Tegens is not at home.
But she's...
Sylvia, you're such a rotter.
Well, I'm not dressed for a picnic. Anyway, I've realised there's no point in a fling if one's husband doesn't notice. I'd go. It's no use. Potty loves me. He wants me to leave Christopher and go abroad with him. Oh, I'd like to shake him. Who? My husband, of course. Shake some reaction out of that great lump.
happen to have a cigarette?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
Now look here, don't be obtuse, Teachins. Damn it, man, it's the department's duty to support Waterhouse in making his case to the House. Do you understand? The minister has to show that the figures for the insurance bill will balance.
Well, they won't. And I should have thought it was this department's duty to tell him so.
Teachins, you're the cleverest young man in London, McMaster says, and I'm inclined to believe him. But he and I, with our blunt instruments, have managed to grasp something that you cannot.
Why, thank you, Sir Reginald.
Which is that if they don't get what they require from you, they'll put some competition wallerhead clerk on it and take our credit from us.
I simply wished you to be aware of the facts. There's no difficulty in adjusting the calculations to produce a more congenial result. I can let McMaster have it in the hour and 10 minutes remaining. I insist on his taking the credit for it.
Good man.
What the devil's going on here? Excuse me. This way, please. Came through without a scratch, thanks, Bertram.
My fault for inviting a liberal. Christmas spirit, you know?
Christopher, there you are at last.
Yes, sorry. You look lovely.
You look like thunder. You didn't mind that I let Potty bring me ahead?
No, of course not.
Will you dance?
Oh, if that were dancing. You save me one when there's a tune.
You're a writer.
Ah, yes, a little awe of the critic. My book on Rossetti will be appearing
Master.
in
Howard. That fellow over there was Sandbach. He's the Right Honourable Stephen Waterhouse. He's the swine that made us fake that schedule at the office. I'm gonna have a word with him.
For God's sake, Chrissy. Those suffragettes, I would have them whipped till they bled.
Spank them. That's what I say.
What have we come to? When a government minister can't go anywhere without a policeman.
Perhaps the Prime Minister kept his promise to address the women's concerns after the summer recess.
Chrissy, my dear.
Women kept their promise to stop protesting, while the police had their hands full with the coronation.
Give the PM a chit.
Quite right. Digens, hark to my brother-in-law, the General.
Digens? Oh, you must be the genius. Allow me to thank you. We couldn't have got the insurance bill before the House till the next session without your figures.
You were taking the credit from McMaster.
Oh, no, we know who to thank. Sir Reginald let it out.
McMaster? He the fellow you brought with you? Who are his people?
His father was a shipping clerk in Edinburgh.
Is he angry with me? Angry with his wife, I expect. We got the brunt.
No.
Yes.
No, Potty.
Don't call me Potty.
But it suits you.
Will you come away with me?
Well, I might. One day.
Sylvia has gone off with that fellow. Run. I'm letting Lounge Street, warehousing the furniture. I'm taking Michael to my sister Effie. She's married to a vicar who has one of our livings. Marchant will go with him.
So you'll be wanting your old rooms.
Benim en büyük şanssızlığım bu tank oyununda saçma salak takımlara denk gelmem ya. Hani en geride de dursan anasını satayım. Tüm ezik takımlara düşüyoruz ya. Ha, sen kazandın mı? 7000 oldu bu sefer. 1600 oldu.
To Aunt Effie.
1059. Bir şey alabiliyor muyum? Hayır.
Walk on. Trot on.
Poor child, living like an orphan with his Aunt Effie.
Bear up, old girl. You'll be near at hand now for Michael.
Your wife has shamed you both. All of us.
You will divorce?
No. Only a blackguard would submit his wife to that. Mrs. Satterthwaite has established herself at a German spa, so that it may be said that Sylvia has gone abroad to nurse her. The mother's a bitch, but a sensible one.
The motor flower didn't serve.
It's all coming.
Let's go.
There's someone called Thurston. I met him somewhere. He won't gossip.
Don't care if he does.
Well, thank you very much.
What does it matter? Now or later? We're not going to hide forever.
Well, that's the thing, Potty.
What thing?
It's not forever.
Yes, it is.
I hope you're not going to behave badly.
About what?
About my going back before it's too late.
Oh, no, you're not. What are you talking about?
I miss my husband.
No, you don't. You call him a great lump of wood.
Oh, he is. I often want to kill him just to see if there's any blood in him. I'm permanently angry with him. But he's spoiled me for any other decently groomed man in London. He knows everything about everything. It's the difference between being with a grown man and trying to entertain a schoolboy.
But you love me. Don't you?
I overlooked you. Your dullness and not knowing French and drinking too much or too little. And oh, I don't know everything really. From being all over me the moment we were on the train to sulking if I'm not all over you. Especially that side of things. Which became like reading a book you've read before. Why can't one get a man to go away with one and be just... light comedy? I say, you're not going to kill yourself, I hope, Porty.
I want you to swear on
on your Saint Anthony that you won't leave me.
I'll do no such thing.
Then I'll kill you if you try. The French understand these things.
These hotels one's been staying in the note paper is simply shameful.
A weekend on the golf links might do me some good. Hobnobbing with our masters. I'll change into my golfing togs when we get to our digs. One never knows who might be on the train. Mr. Sandbach MP, going down to his constituency. Ah. The proofs of my monograph.
Sylvia asks me to take her back. She has joined her mother in Germany.
Will you take her back?
I imagine so. There's the child to consider. Martin says he's beginning to talk like a farmer's boy already. But I shan't have a house again. There's a certain discredit attaches itself to a cuckold quite properly. Anything beyond a flat looks like impudence in a man who can't keep his wife.
I wish you'd divorce her. Drag her through the mud.
For a gentleman, there is such a thing as... call it parade.
And if you met someone you wanted to marry?
It would change nothing. I stand for monogamy.
You...
monogamy and chastity. And for not talking about it.
Better far, though. Hearts may break, bid farewell for aye. Lest thy sad eyes meeting mine tempt my soul away. That's great poetry.
That is your obese poet painter talking about it in language like congealed bacon fat.
You have a way of putting things.
Huh. I haven't. If I had, it would make it better for me. Yeah. Accept resumption yoke on condition child stay with Sister Effie and Anglican wire if acceptable.
Valla.
I, for one, am sorry. She must have a way of putting things.
She has. I am now ready to return to you, if I can keep hello central. There being no one else I can bear to have near me when I retire for the night. That's all. She should be the consort of, I don't know, of the Viceroy of India.
We're getting a round of golf today. Tomorrow we're breakfasting with the rector who helped me with my book.
Of course he did. You mean the Reverend Dusselman who hosted those famous breakfasts at Cambridge?
He's no longer at Cambridge. He has a rectory near Rye.
Ah.
Lady Claudine says come and pick a bone at Monday. But you too, McMaster.
Thank you, I won't. McMaster would be delighted.
Oh, you're the great McMaster.
That's very good of you to say, Mr. Sandbach. Now the caddy heard tell.
+1 at North Berwick. Is that Waterhouse up ahead?
Get Chrissy back to Sylvia.
quick as you can. Believe me, Sylvia is a splendid girl. Straight as a die. Takes her fences clean. Chrissy must have been running after the skirts. No?
No.
I dare say a little.
No.
It will be resented. Half the houses in London will be closed to him. So, do what you can.
Hooked it. I loathe this game.
Why do you play then?
McMaster has no one else.
Suffragettes.
You're under arrest!
Valentine!
Landet är skadat.
I say sorry to spoil your shot. Go and see that they don't hurt Gertie. I've lost her.
You've been demonstrating.
Well, of course we have. But you won't see a girl being manhandled. There look to be some beasts among them. A regular rat hunt. And Gertie can't run.
You cut away then. I'll look after Gertie.
No, I'll come with you.
Clear out, unless you want to go to jail.
Run!
Stop the bitch naked! Stop the bitch! Stop naked! Stop! 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 Oh. Stop!
You couldn't have done more, officer. I expect you're a bit shaken.
Anyone would be. Thank you, sir.
Run, Gertie!
We've got them! We've got them!
We'll have to go round by Canberra Railway Bridge.
I refuse to play with you. In fact, I've a good mind to issue a warrant for your arrest for obstructing justice.
Can't you know the borough magistrate? Look it up.
Chrissy, you are the bloody limit.
He probably didn't want to arrest the girls. He was yearning not to.
Was that girl a friend of yours?
Jag ser målet.
Had you arranged
Vi
it
slog
with
igenom
her?
pansaret.
If it was the Wallop girl, if the woman that's come between you and Sylvia, damn it, is our little suffragette, good God, put her back, Chrissy.
I give you my word.
They say they're all whores. I beg your pardon, if you like, the Wallop girl. Her father was a great friend of your father's.
Yine şerefsizler geride yatmışlar.
Of course, I remember.
Bunlar taklitten anlıyorsa ben adam değilim ya.
Didn't leave a farthing. And there's a son at Eton. The widow and her daughter have a deuced hard row to hoe. I know Claudine takes them all the peaches she can catch out of Paul's gardener. Perhaps you feel sorry for her, is that
I
it?
think that's enough confusion to be going on with. But you should know Mrs. Satterthwaite is much recovered at her German spa, and I'm expecting to go over in a day or two to bring Sylvia and her mother home.
Good boy. Kiss her fingertips for me. She's the real thing. You lucky beggar.
The littleness of it. Our drawing room comedy of sex obsession. When the war comes, it'll blow right through it, thank God.
War is impossible. Attaining with this country in it.
Is that what they said at your dinner with the Tories? In 2 years, round about the time of the grouse shooting, there'll be a European war with Britain plumb in the middle of it.
The Teasian's exactitude. Where's your evidence?
In the office.
It's late. We're expected at the doucheman's breakfast. If you haven't been arrested.
Now, I gave the policeman a £5 note from that swine of a cabinet minister. What's the point about giving dinner? Besides which, she's a decent fellow. So it's hands off the Wallet girl. The fair one. Miss Valentine Wallet. Holder of the quarter-mile, half-mile, high jump and long jump records for East Sussex and housemaid typewriter for her mother-in-law. The other one's not local, probably. Never underestimate the Sussex constabulary. Oh, and it's generally believed that Miss Watt and I are in cahoots, if not worse.
Why do you look like that?
Because I'm waiting for my wife to wire me to fetch her home. And this is what I do.
Ya orayı atlama işte ya. Atlama orayı, çıkmasan alacağım tankı ya.
There are times when a woman hates a man, even a very good man as my husband was. I have walked behind a man's back and nearly screamed with a desire to sink my nails into the veins of his neck. And Sylvia's got it worse than I.
If the woman, as the church directs, would have children and live decent...
But Sylvia's had a child.
And whose? That blackguard Drake's, wasn't it?
It was probably Drake's.
I am here, you know. I'm done with men. Think of all the ruin that child is meant for me. And Christopher's perfectly soppy about him.
You don't deserve your husband anyway. Can't imagine why he sent that telegram. Resume yoke indeed.
Oh, he sent it out of lordly, dull, full-dress consideration that drives me distracted. He couldn't write me a letter because he'd have to put Dear Sylvia, and I'm not. He's that precise sort of imbecile. I'll settle down by his side, and I'll be chaste. I've made up my mind to it. I'll be bored stiff for the rest of my life. Except for one thing, I can torment that man, and I'll do it. For all the times he's tormented me. I come from Normandy without sleep, you see. I'll tell them downstairs to simply telegraph Christopher. Righto.
I'll send the Reverend Doucheman a signed copy of my book. His word still carries weight.
Well, sucking up to Doucheman was always the price for catering poached eggs.
Welcome! Welcome! I'm the curate here. Yeah. Oh! Thank you. Thank you. Upsy daisy. My name's Horsley.
Master, where did you get this job, Robert? Gosh, you've got a 13 hands pony harness on a 16 and a half hands horse. Let that bit out 3 holes, tearing the animal's tongue in half.
I'm not sure it's really playing the game, Valentine, asking you to be here. If your mother knew... Mother wanted to come with me when I told her it was to meet a critic. But I got away in the carriage. That's perfect. Nobody will even see your husband.
I've told Doucheman's keeper to keep him out till 1:15. I've set a place for your Gertie, but never mind. We've got the old curate's sister staying with us, Miss Fox, and she's stone deaf. so an empty chair next to her makes no difference.
This way! The ladies will be in here. We arrived together. Miss
Good morning. I'm Master.
We're living in a state of siege, ladies.
It's so good of you to come.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me, Christopher Teacher.
A pleasure indeed. And you must be the famous Vincent McMaster.
Mr. Sam Batch, MP.
My pleasure, Mum.
I'm Edith Dushman, and this is Miss Warner.
Ah, Miss Warner.
On motorbicycles and armed with loaded
Gentlemen,
canes,
you must be tired from your journey. Allow me to show you to your seats.
Scouring the country lanes.
Thank you. You here, Mr. Tidgens, I thought.
Thank you.
And here for you, Mr. McMaster. And I next to you.
Drink had been taken.
If you're hungry, there's... Well, I hope you'll find something to your liking.
Gelmeyin arkadaş, gelmeyin. Nereye gidersem gideyim gelmeyin ya. Gelmeyin yani sizin gittiğiniz yöne bile gideceğim. Yer değiştirin, başka tarafa gidin.
Thank you for yesterday.
Laying the buff's colours on the altar of St. Peter's tomorrow morning. Ah, Mrs. Warner, what a pleasant surprise.
Mother, which is Mr. McMaster, the critic? Are you Mr. McMaster, the critic?
I'm McMaster.
Oh, Mr. McMaster, my new book is coming out on Tuesday.
Mother, what have you done with Gertie?
She's lying low in the attic.
Come with me.
Hi, rather.
It will be of interest to you to hear about my book. To you journalists, a little inside information is always...
I'm not a journalist.
Well, a critic.
I don't review books. I'm not a critic in the sense of...
Of course you are.
I write for the critical quarterlies.
Mr. McMaster? No. The critical quarterlies. Mr. Horsley, sit Mrs. Warner next to you and feed her.
That is exactly what my book needs. A good, long, deep...
That's the Reverend's chair.
have shown a deplorable lack of interest. Serious interest.
That's better.
Would you allow me to help you?
Oh, a little caviar, a peach. I'm afraid I must... You see, my husband...
I beg you, dear lady, do not concern yourself.
I think this party's very badly arranged.
You'll find my husband will...
Very bad
or
management.
might, or perhaps not. Sometimes you never know he was...
One understands. Merely to spend a fleeting hour in these perfect surroundings. You know the lines?
As when the swallow gliding from lofty portal to lofty portal, out of the dark and into the light and out again into the dark.
It takes a poet.
I have a message for you. From Mr. Waterhouse. I told him I didn't know you and didn't expect to see you. He didn't believe me.
If it's to invite me for a chat, I don't intend to place myself in the way of his condescensions.
No, not that. He wanted you to know that there were no charges against you.
Well, what about Gertie?
Gertie too, as far as yesterday is concerned. But I get her out from your attic if she's on the run from the Metropolitan Police. Which she is.
Mr. McMaster seems to know him too.
He taught me to box at Cambridge.
Good morning. Doctor? I'm not a doctor. Yes. A stethoscope. Packed in the hat.
Benim mouse rezalet ya. Hassasiyeti çok boktan.
Your friend, another medical man, takes two doctors, of course, to certify a lunatic. Oh, very. Soul fillets, very good. Kidneys to follow? Good, sir. I'm McMaster. We corresponded and you invited me for breakfast. Of course I did. McMaster, the budding critic. And friend. McMaster and friend to breakfast. Not medical man. But you look tired. Worn. Worn out. I detect the pallor of self-abuse.
Ya ağzını yüzünü.
Post-coitum trist you. The sorrows of spent seamen, boys or girls in your case.
Allah'ım ya Rabbim ya.
Getting cold. I'll bring the kidneys. If you'll eat a little, it brings the blood down from the head.
Oh, forgive. It's dreadful for you.
My dear lady, please don't worry. It's what I'm for.
Tetricus me vocibus uxor. Coripis et culum te coque.
Heh. Öyle oturttururlar işte. Tam vuracağım zaman gelip bana çarparsan şerefsizin evladı. O kadar uğraş sığırın biri gelsin 2 dakikalık psikolojinin içine etsin ya.
Get him out. The way you beat Kid Cantor at Hackney Baths.
Lan anasını satayım ya.
Marcus 11:43. Alas, my dear, with women, it's more a case of having two cups.
You all right, sir? Time to write your sermon, sir. Get up. Ready? There we go. There we go. My dear lady, it's all over now, I assure you.
Please forgive. You can never respect me.
You're the bravest woman I know.
Goodbye.
Olacak 140.
This is the rig for you, Mrs. Warren. A pony and a basket work chase. That's a trap for ladies. Suppose you do well for the work tonight.
Tonight? Mr. Tegens means Gertie, don't you?
Yes. Do you know somewhere Gertie can wait it out? They'll be watching the trains at Ashford Junction.
Oh, your help.
I will not see you incommoded. You've written the only novel since the 18th century I've not had to correct in the margins.
But what shall we do with Gertie?
Bring her over, only don't pull at her mouth. She'll come easy.
Oh, he is a beast. You don't know when
Mal
he's
işte
not
mal takımlara geliyoruz arkadaş ya. Mal takımlara.
I'll miss you, Gertie. See you in London. She'll be all right.
You should know, Miss Warren. We are being talked about. And that'll teach you not to speak to strange men on golf courses.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. You live it down. The only thing that matters is to do good work.
It's true. I wouldn't care what those swine say about me, but I do. I care about what they say about you.
Listen.
A lark.
Not that. It was a
Oyun
nightingale.
oynayalım diyoruz. Arkadaş oyundaki mallar bile benim oluyor ya bu tank oyununda.
Nightingale.
Believe me, love, it was the nightingale. There. He sounds hoarse now. Their song changes in June.
We're 13 miles from Breed and 6.5 miles from something like Uttlemere. Lamp went out. Ground fog. We are on the road to Uttlemere. Mind telling me if you know this road at all?
It's Addymore, not Addlemere.
So it is the right road then. Go on.
Is it?
You wouldn't let the mare go on another 5 steps if it wasn't your soft dollar.
Not as soft as you. You're not so dreadfully ugly, really. Don't mind me, I'm so happy. So happy.
The next crossroads is Grandfather's Wantways. An old gentleman used to sit there called Grandfer Finn. Every Tenderden market day he sold fleet cakes from a basket to the carts going by. Tenderden market was abolished in 1845, done in by the repeal of the Corn Laws.
Why do you suppose I make a collection of obsolescent facts?
Because you do. You make Toryism out of them. I thought your type were all in museums. You want to be an English
Abi ne
country
açıymışsın
gentleman
ya, ne
principles out of
açıymışsın
quaintness and letting
ya.
the country go to hell. You won't
Anasını
scar a finger
sattığımın
except to say I
oyununda
told you so.
olmayacak her şey beni buluyor ya.